Let's explore how to fit meditation into a busy schedule. This evening's lesson is drawn from a good-hearted question found on Reddit. What is your meditation time preference? Although I have longed to make meditation a part of my daily life for quite some time now, the chaos of the daily grind has been a formidable obstacle. Rather than reinvent the wheel, I suspect it could be wise for me to learn from others' scheduling choices. And of course, in all full disclosure, I have paraphrased this person as a writing exercise for myself. That's why it's all italicized. So let us begin with a bit of the old broad brushstrokes. I guess I need to do my due diligence and make sure I'm centered. Okay, that's close enough for government work. We can learn a lot. Or, to put it another way, we can take a page from the time motion studies of engineers of ages past. For the variables of frequency and duration are two different metrics and must be treated as such. Let us begin with an easy duration and then explore the variable of frequency. So, in other words, let's just begin with a 5-minute meditation session. That's an easy thing to play with. And with a 5-minute session, we can set it at a frequency of about once every 12 hours or so. For instance, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., give or take. Now, this is not a test of our character. If we don't do it perfectly the first time, doesn't mean we're horrible people, doesn't mean we're stupid, doesn't mean we're unspiritual, doesn't mean we're lazy, it just means we haven't found the solution yet. Remember the tale, perhaps an apocryphal tale, of Thomas Edison, who, when asked if it was true that he'd failed 1,000 times to find an optimal filament for his light bulb, he answered, "No, I've succeeded in finding 1,000 filaments that don't do the job." Similarly, let us not need... Life is hard enough. We don't need to join the barbarian hordes relentlessly intent on beating us into a greasy spot on the ground. So this is not a test of our character, but an adventure. Exciting experiments. Only we don't have to buy a lab coat and grow our hair wild. You can be your beautiful GQ self and still explore the variables in your life the way a scientist would. Allow ease to be your North Star. The question is not what you can do with great difficulty, not what you can endure, but to find the easiest times of day to practice. The times of day when it is the least difficult, the most easy. Then you can begin to explore the variable of duration. And of course, I'm assuming that you've already learned how to sit in a sustainable and comfortable manner. So your first week, once you've gotten your scheduling down, this might take you a week, this might take you a month, this could take you a quarter. That's fine. The late former head of the Nyingma Order of Tibet insisted that if you are enthusiastic to find the time to practice, and that's all you have is enthusiasm, things will begin to move in your life and make time for meditation. So it's okay if it takes you a while. It's okay if it takes you hours or days or weeks or months to figure out what 2 times a day are most sustainable for you. It's totally worth it. When I was a little boy in the 70s, there was a commercial for Gallo wine. When Orson Welles would sell Gallo, we sell no wine before it's time. That's right, we've got a cool rhyme, so ignore the fact that this wine comes with a screw-top lid. So, once you've got that figured out, Then you can begin incrementally building on it. I once asked a roommate many, many decades ago how he trained for triathlons. And he said, you have to build your base. And you have to build very, very gradually, incrementally, so as not to damage your body. And so, for instance, he would ride a mile a day, and then he would ride 2 miles a day. And then maybe 3 months later, he would ride 4 miles a day. And so incrementally he would build so that by the time had built his running base or his bicycle base or his swimming base, it was no longer difficult for him to do that, to swim that length every 3 days or ride that length every 3 days or run that length every 3 days. And yes, during the event of doing all three at the same time was difficult. But because he'd built his base, it was difficult, but not impossible. So learning from endurance athletes and gently building our base. The first week we can meditate for 5 minutes every 12 hours or so. And perhaps by the second week, you'll feel the urge to increase your duration to 10 minutes every 12 hours or so. By the third week, you can increase it to 15 minutes. And by the fourth week, you may be ready to practice for 20 minutes twice a day. Progressing in this way, within 15 to 16 weeks, you could be styling. You could sit comfortably for a 15-minute class and a 60-minute practice. You could do that twice a day. And before you know it, you could be the Buddha of your zip code. I do look forward to getting into the fine details with you after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to, I got ahead of myself. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each sect of Buddhism so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. So let us revisit our friend Buddha's Easy Meditation. You and I are going to, just like cooking pancakes, you and I are going to flip and flop between mantra meditation and silent meditation. So let's begin by reviewing the meaning, or a interpretation, of the meaning of the 12-syllable mantra of the historical Buddha. Please chant with me. With whom we invoke the archetype of the Muni wise one, Maha greatly wise one, Muni, yea, of the Shakya Soha, enlightenment for all. So what is the philosopher's stone that transforms the worthless lead of mindless mantra recitation into the valuable gold of mantra meditation? The answer is in 2 parts. Part 1. During our inhalation, we can silently, mentally, and passively recite this italicized bit, relaxing into this. But what is this? Just like the 1989 song by Faith No More, Epic. What is this? What is this? This is whatever you noticed during your in-breath. This is whatever you notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. This is whatever sight or sound or sensation or flavor or scent or the like that you notice. This is whatever emotion, intention, thought, memory, or imagining that you notice. Whether that which you notice is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. Now, of course, the intelligent question is, what do you do with all this stuff that you notice? And the answer is quite simple. You physically relax as best you can while striving to chant this mantra 4 times per breath. And if this is your first time playing with this mantra, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. So I'm going to count the 4 repetitions, using advancing the tip of my left thumb upon the sets of creases and tip of my left little finger. Please practice along with me. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Suwa. 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 Now we can practice the silent version of this. During the inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, and during the exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb is. And just like Michael Jackson in the 1970s musical, we too can ease on down the road. And of course, during the silent meditation, I like to advance my thumb during the inhalations. Let us bring Lama Kyeno's practice of calling the teacher as from afar into Energy Work's path of bliss and letting go. Please chant with me. Let us invite real or imagined Guru Buddha to the crown of our head, that in the union of bliss and letting go we may train. By the way, this is an excellent chant the next time you just feel out of your mind with stress. During the inhalation, we can basically take this entire sentiment and reduce it to just 6 syllables. During the inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the first half, Lama come, and during the exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the second half, to this crown. And now we can perform the mantra version. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. 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 Now that we've climbed to contemplative cruising altitude, together as a team, let us meditate as profoundly as Sokotano on Le Fall. Let us now practice the outer set of preliminary practices from a certain point of view. Together, let us courageously exercise the vulnerability to notice others' stress. Let the seeds of empathy we may sow. Welcome to this evening's live stream. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting or meditation or philosophy or application, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. During our inhalation, let us silently, mentally, and passively recite this italicized bit. During the exhalation, let us physically relax as best we can while striving to chant these 12 syllables 4 times per breath. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. As we inhale, we are wired to effortlessly generate a vertical traction between our tuchus and our head. So for this exercise during the inhalation, let us silently and mentally recite the adjective tal, and during the exhalation, let us silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb is. Instead of torturing ourselves with the fear of karma, may we view interdependence as the opportunity for our love to lighten the loads of others. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Rather than torment ourselves with the dread of death, may we recall that ever-changing one and all there is nothing permanent to grasp. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. So if you have trouble reading this text or hearing my voice, speak up and I will make whatever technical adjustments are necessary. Instead of neurotically straining to make the most of each precious meditation opportunity, we could simply flow from mindfulness and meditations, generation of loving centered spontaneity. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Let us turn now to the inner set of preliminary practices in the tradition of Dzampa Trul Rinpoche's final meditation manual, the Heart Treasure of the Enlightened Ones. In our compassion, may we long to free your beings from the toxic tyranny of ever. Hating, craving, and clinging, metaphorically known as the three mental poisons. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. let us consider this archetype before us. Described in Sanskrit as Samantabhadra Karma Mudra. Described in Tibetan as Kuntu Zangpo, Kuntu Zangmo, Yabyum. And described in English as the All Good Ones Sporting and Tantric Union. How are we like the All Good Ones? How are we, metaphorically, all good? Simple. Each of us has a sympathetic nervous system that has evolved, that is optimized for mindfulness. Each of us has a parasympathetic nervous system optimized for meditation. Each of us has an anterior cingulate gyrus optimized for empathy. Evolution has wired us so that we can master, no less practice, the Buddha's path. In our pragmatism, may all liberation of all others be fueled by your reliance on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students, described by the metaphor of the three wish-fulfilling jewels. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Well, let's do a quick edit here. Please bear with me. Let's hit the cut button and let's hit the paste button. Insert and pictures, and let's go to rather than squander our time and energy in defensiveness, how much wiser could it be to learn all mistakes lessons that effortlessly flow from the mindfulness and meditation centered spontaneity. Ooh, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. 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 A life squandered in competition and greed leads not to peace and fulfillment, better to live in cooperation and generosity. Add lives and may this mind shoot out crowns on, purifying, transforming, increasing, and giving my stuff to all beings of nirvana and samsara. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. 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 Let us bring Guru Yoga, also known as Lama Naljor, into Energy Work's path of bliss and letting go. Let us invite real or imagined Lama Sangye to our heart mind, that in the union of bliss and letting go we may train. So, Sangye is just Tibetan for Buddha. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. 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 Let us view letting go through a philosophical lens, as we bring the illusion of the horizontal duality of us and them into the dance of impermanence and interdependence known as Madhyamaka's yoga of inconceivability. All circumstances or laws could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into a rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. Om Muni Muni Mo Muni Yesawa Om Muni Muni Mo Muni Yesawa Om Muni Muni Mo Muni Yesawa Om Muni Muni Mo Muni Yesawa. All bodies or forms could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa. All oopsie, look at this. All interpersonal speech could be as impermanent and interdependent As if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa. All minds could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into our vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although tantalizing to the eye could be non-graspable to the hand. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa. Let us bring the experience of the four bases of mindfulness into the conventional path of love and letting go, where it is love that is emphasized and where it is jealousy that is leapt over. This might be easier. Let's just go over here and hit delete and reveal and paste, insert, solitary. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies or the bodies of visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these words of love in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. May all minds of all beings know be as peacefully rise as the mind of a real Lord. Imagine Buddha symbolized by a tikle, one syllable seed or bija mantra. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa. 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 May our relationships or speech of all beings know be as joyfully loving as a. May our relationships or speech of all beings know be as joyfully loving as a. Real or imagined Buddhist communication symbolized by the 12-syllable mantra. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Copy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Paste. Really? May all bodies or forms of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health seen in Buddha's statuary, depicting the blissful body of a real or imagined Devi or Yatama archetype of enlightenment such as ha ha ha. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa. Insert pictures. Vati. May all circumstances or lots of all beings who have the good fortune or boon, as a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, Spirlando Vanti. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Esawa. 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 Let us view letting go through a physiological lens as we bring the experience of the four bases of mindfulness into the ultimate path of love and letting go, where it is letting go that is emphasized and it is pride that is leapt over. Okay. I see what's going on. Let us sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors for literal statements, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. As we inhale, all circumstances or lots could appear quite vivid. Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable of what is a real or imagined paradise or vati of light. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa. 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 As we inhale, all bodies or forms could feel quite sensual. Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel it as non-graspable of what is a real or imagined archetype or yet of light. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sowa. 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 Let us seal this evening's practice by percussively chanting love and letting go's wishes for universal enlightenment and well-being. May all minds of all beings lucid yet void no be as enlightened as a Buddha's mind. Oops, let's try this again. May all minds of all beings lucid yet void no be as enlightened as a Buddha's mind, symbolized by a one-syllable bija. May all speech of all beings resounding yet void no be as loving as a Buddha's speech, symbolized by a multi-syllable mantra. May all forms of all beings sensual yet void no be as healthy as a Yidam type depicted in Buddhist statuary. May all lots of all beings appearing yet void no be as fortunate as a pure land of lore depicted in Buddhist paintings. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to tomorrow's early meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.